You know, I thought I've seen it all, but apparently not. This ICE situation is getting crazier and crazier. We have now reached the point where a baby who was in a car seat in the car was attacked by ICE. That's how crazy this is getting now, ladies and gentlemen, in Minneapolis. People are really going through it. Let's go ahead and get started with this clip here. This is actually from Status Quo. So shout out to Jordan Sheraton and everyone else at Status Quo. They're really doing a lot of the work there on the ground. I think they've been at a number of these events. Listen to some of the residents here in Minneapolis about their frustration about this.
This is nuts. This is fucking, yeah, and you're right in the middle of this shit. What the fuck is going on, dude? This is insane.
Have you ever gone out to these sort of things before?
Never. I've never protested in my life. My brother's here. He does it all the time. I've never. Dude, like I said, I'm far enough away, but close enough. And I sit in my cushy house and look at shit and get mad. And they're just trying to fucking scare people. And, you know, but why shoot people? You know what really pisses me off is the fact that they detain people, cuff them, and then still beat the shit out of them. They tell you It's immigrants, only immigrants. It's fucking anybody. I have friends that got detained and all they were doing was fucking driving home from work.
What did I tell you guys? And here's the thing. No, this is not something that's new. I would say, you know, people have been beaten by law enforcement while they were detained for years. It's nothing new. But one thing I think that, you know, we did try to warn people about earlier on when people said, if you're not an illegal immigrant, don't worry about it. They're not going to come after you. We tried to warn people, not necessarily, not necessarily. And we're seeing more instances of that. And by the way, these are just the ones that have been reported where people were able to catch it on camera. You know, Status Quo, they've been out there on the ground numerous times covering these events. But the reality is a lot of corporate media is not covering these events. We know about Renee Good because why? Because someone recorded it on their phone. That's why we know about it, because someone was recording. So I think that's something that people need to keep in mind. These are only the things that we know about that have been recorded. And that's why we know about them.
What the fuck?
Sounds like you don't fit the definition of the...
No, and I'm not fucking paid to be here like everybody fucking says. What the fuck is that? I gotta work in the goddamn morning, just like everybody else. I'm just here trying to stand up for community, dude. We're all human beings here. I don't give a shit who you are, where you came from, what color you are. It doesn't fucking matter. This is wrong.
Yeah, and it's getting really, really out of hand. There's another video here, and this is the one that's going viral, where a gentleman was with his family, which includes his baby, and apparently ICE flashbanged a 6-month-old baby. You have to see this here. Anonymous shared this. Trump's ICE thugs tear gassed a Minneapolis neighborhood and flashbang a 6-month-old baby. ICE initially told a family trying to flee the gas that they could leave. Then flashbang their vehicle anyway. Their baby stopped breathing and was taken by EMTs. So this is another example where ICE was giving people different instructions. At one point, they're telling you you're free to leave. Then at another point, they're attacking you because you're trying to leave. So, you know, which is it? And also that I sometimes I think that's intentional to cause that confusion so that you get caught either way. Right. So, again, this guy and his family, they're not, from what I understood, they're not immigrants. They're not illegal immigrants. But ICE has become so destructive in Minneapolis that they're now targeting a baby. So the baby had to be sent to the hospital. Listen to this. This is insane.
My car. It's not even fuck the car. My kid. Yes, the ambulance is bringing my newborn out the house because he can't breathe. How long? 6 months. And the fucking officer, I told him I was trying to leave. He said, it was,
the officer knew you were trying to leave?
Yes, the officer knew I was trying to leave.
The ICE officer?
Yes. He literally, He literally called us trying to leave. And they three flashbangs at my car.
So listen to what he says about how he said he told them he was trying to leave.
He was not even fuck the car, my kid. Yes, the ambulance is bringing my newborn out the house because he can't breathe. How long? 6 months. And the fucking officer, I told him I was trying to leave.
The officer knew you were trying to
Yes,
leave?
the officer knew I was trying to leave.
The ICE officer.
Yes, he literally called us trying to leave. And they three flashbangs at my car. Yes, they hit the outside and under my car.
So that's the guy there. The baby was in the back seat. And so now it's just getting to the point where they're just throwing stuff anywhere. And this is what we were warning people about, right? Like, now here's the thing. All of the ICE agents behaving this way? No. But the problem is there are enough of them that is causing this type of destruction. In fact, I remember showing you guys when they took the girl in Somerville, Massachusetts, right here in Massachusetts. If a group of guys get out of their car and they have on masks, you guys remember this? Remember the tough student they took her off the street? They have on masks and you're a female and these guys come up to you and they grab you. What is going to be your reaction? So I don't think that they should wear a mask. And I said that from day one. But it's gotten to this point, even to the point where Joe Rogan has started calling it out. Marjorie Taylor Greene called it out. They said this is ridiculous, but nobody's stopping it. No one's stopping it. But something is resurfacing. Abolish ICE is resurfacing again. And I was shocked to see it from Justin Amash. Justin Amash is a libertarian. He left, I believe this was during Trump's first administration. Justin Amash left during Trump's administration, not Justin's administration. He left during Trump's first administration. Does everybody remember Justin Amash? He's one of the ones that spoke out early on and stuff about the genocide. He also had family members that were in Gaza. But he is a libertarian who was voting along or siding along with Republicans. And then during Trump's first term, he was like, I can't do this. And he was like, I'm out. Deuces. So now he is saying abolish ICE. Abolish ICE, he says. What we've seen recently isn't immigration enforcement. It's state-sponsored terrorism. They refuse to comply with the Constitution. They assault Americans with impunity. They hide behind masks, knowing their actions are shameful. They should not exist. Immigration enforcement can be done lawfully and accountably, upholding the rights of the people, but the administration has no interest in that. They're using the context of immigration as a pretext to sidestep constitutional limits, warrants, due process, and transparency that protect all of us from government abuses. We need immigration enforcement that respects the Constitution, not an agency that evades it. That's not from a progressive. That's from Justin Amash. So I've noticed abolish ICE is resurfacing yet once again. Now I gotta tell you guys this. We said early on that if they keep going after people with the force that they're using, that someone is going to get hurt. So we just talked about the baby that had to be sent to the EMT. We talked about Renee Good. There was another person, Keith Porter, who was killed out in California by ICE. They said that Keith Porter was shooting a gun off in the air on New Year's Eve or something like that, which some people do that as like a form of celebration. I'm not sure what that had to do with ICE. It's just stuff like that. Keith Porter wasn't an illegal immigrant. So when you make statements like they have full immunity, which Trump's administration has been making, that tells them they can do whatever the fuck they want to whoever they want. There's been no checks and balances. That's why you're even starting to see people like Justin, like Joe Rogan. You're seeing them even call it out. But what did I tell you guys a while ago? They want chaos. That's the goal. But it doesn't work on everyone. Because apparently, I think people need to take a lesson from the Black Panthers in Philadelphia. You see, they seem to know their rights. Devin shared this and said, Black Panthers know their rights. Do you? Check this out.
I can hold my gun like this. It's the law. Philadelphia Crime Code 6108 says I can hold my long arm in my hand. Just can't hit my finger on the trigger because it's not. So don't ask me to do nothing that's against the law. Can I help you? I'm out here minding my business. I'm out here to control and watch you. Anything else? Because you guys like beating up our teenagers. Somebody sent us a video of y'all beating up a teenager.
Y'all, wasn't me.
Huh? It was y'all. You're a police officer. You part of that.
So he said someone showed us a video of you guys beating up a police officer.
And it was
Beating up a teenager.
It was y'all. You don't like to be labeled in with slave catchers. You shouldn't have taken their whole sellout. You are a sellout. You wearing their shit. You are a sellout. You ain't protecting shit. You got to do whatever they tell you to, including hurt your people. Because you're walking up to me and I don't like you and I don't trust you and I don't got no conversation with you. So unless you're investigating the crime, leave me the fuck alone. I don't care. I got a gun license right here. This is legal. Philadelphia Crime Code 6108. Move your car out of people's way and get the fuck out of my face. Thank you, officer.
Have a good day.
You have a bad one. Sell out. Fuck out of here. You smiling for a sellout? Do you know where you came from? Slave catchers hired you to help catch their property, which was us. Slave catcher controls the origin of that cash, you bitch ass nigga. The fuck out of here. Go where you're needed. We don't need your help. Get out the fucking street. Like your supervisor said, get out the fucking street. Get out the fucking street. Go with him. Go with him. Get out the fucking street. You block the traffic. Get out the fucking street. Get the fuck out the street.
The Black Panthers in Philly know their rights. Do you know yours? Let's go ahead. Let's drop the beat for them. Let's drop the beat for the Black Panthers in Philly. We're going to do pressure.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey. Let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever.
A moment can live on forever, guys. Forever. So you see, some people know their rights. And you see how they got back in their car and they drove off because they did again, right? So this is what I mean when I say we do need community building. See how they came together as a unit? They know what they're allowed to do. And so the cops are like, okay, we're just going to drive off, you know. And they stood as one. And I think back about that baby, the fact that a baby can't breathe. Because ICE decided to flashbang a car with a child in the back seat. At that time, making that decision, not thinking about who was in that car, who was in that back seat, because they really just don't give a damn, not caring who gets hurt. Now, let's think about this for a second. Some of those ICE agents who have been on the force for probably a long time, they probably go out there every day and do what they're supposed to do and don't hurt anybody. I said some of them. But some of them intentionally want to fuck people up. Let's just keep it real. And some of the ones who joined after that new sign-on bonus was promoted, some of them just joined because they wanted to fuck people up too. You know, like the type of guys that peaked in high school. You guys know what I'm talking about? They may have been like on the football team in high school and they were all tough shit or thought they were tough shit then in high school. But then they graduated and they ain't do anything. Those kind of dudes. Some people join because they want to intentionally hurt people. We cannot Ignore that. Hopefully that guy presses some type of charges, because that's just ridiculous. Then we got to think about what's going to happen to that baby in the future. So they had to send the baby to the ER because the baby couldn't breathe. That's how out of hand it has become. And nobody's stopping them. Nobody's stopping them. Now, I will say this again for the people who are like, I don't understand this. Because, like, for some of the liberals who are sitting back and they're saying, I can't believe they did this to that woman, to that man. Where the hell have you been? Where were you when pro-Palestinian protesters were getting dragged on the ground? Where were you when police officers were grabbing professors on university campuses and throwing them to the ground like they were nothing? Where were you every time someone who was unarmed was killed brutally by the police? Where were you when Philando Castile was killed while his daughter was in the back seat of the car? So I don't understand some of you, man. I don't understand some of you. I really don't. And I'm not talking to the conservatives right now. I'm talking about the liberals. You guys kill me sometimes. Because you say you're for these policies, you say you're for fighting back against these things, but then when something happens, you act like you had never seen this stuff before. So all this type of stuff that even happened, like when Biden was in office, where were you? Well, why are you so surprised? We sat here for years while the United States government and Israel sat up there and they committed a whole damn genocide. So if that's what they are doing abroad, what do you think they're doing to people right here? And we can talk about all the crimes that have happened to people in this party. But some of the liberals, you guys, you really make me think like, where the fuck you been? Okay? And that tell me that some of you weren't really serious. That tell me that some of you was just like, yeah. Fuck the police, yeah. But, yeah, you went right back to brunch. When things went back your way politically, you went back to brunch. And now that things are not your way politically, now you have risen. Oh my God, let me look around and see what's happening around me. But the moment that Democrats are in power, all of a sudden you don't see shit. These are the same people who sat up there and told me to my face, I don't care about those kids in Gaza. The moment Trump becomes president, it's, oh my God, they're killing people in Gaza. We are talking about a government that is committing genocide. And you're surprised they're doing this to people right here. This has always been a violent country as long as I can remember. I have watched things get increasingly worse, but I also wasn't alive, back in the day. I missed a lot of that stuff, but I've watched things get worse. But it's just weird to me. Like some of you got to get out of your cul-de-sacs. You got to, I don't know. You got to get out of your mom wine groups. You got to get out of your book clubs for just a second and wake up and look around you and see what's really going on. And not only when a Republican is in the White House, you need to do this regardless who is in the White House. Because too many of you sat back on Saturdays and Sundays and you said, let me go have mimosas with my friends. And you pretended like nothing was going on. There were people who were killed, unarmed people killed by policemen under the Biden-Harris administration. You guys say nothing, man. You said nothing. Very few even talked about it. So you can't just say you care depending on who's in office. If you care, you got to care regardless of who the president is and regardless of who the political party is. So for some of you, I just this for some of the liberals, I can't. This is why I can't be around some of y'all. This is really why. This is really why. Because you guys always like, oh my, you're always in shock. Wake up. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.